Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear humanity, I've come again today, and today I'm talking to the people of America, the black or American Africans. I'm talking to Africans and to the Jamaicans and the people of African heritage who are taken from Africa, who are in either South America, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, as well as in America and Canada. My people, as I said today, we are going to look at the black man as a creation of human beings. I'm not broadcasting this as a racist, but I want to put out some points which are very important for you African Americans, Africans, as well as Africans, African Americans, Africans, wherever you are, that you should know this information in order to prevent future holocausts happening against human beings. Every African American, whether you are in Cuba, whether you are Brazil, whether you are in Colombia, whether you're in Canada, wherever you are on this planet, this information that I'm sending to you, you are entitled to know who you are as an African man. You are entitled to know what is your true religion as an African man. You are entitled to know what are your rights on this planet as an African or a black man. As I said, I'm not using this as a platform of racism, but I'm trying to guide human beings of all races. But today we are focusing on Africans. My dear brothers, African Americans, my dear brothers, Africans, my dear brothers, maybe the Arabs and the Chinese and the Europeans. As I said, this is not a racist platform. This is not a message for racism. It's a message to prevent human holocausts, human atrocities, human genocides, and most likely, and there is what you people don't understand in present time, that the likeliness of the extinction of human beings being wiped off this planet. Many of you, when I speak about it, they take it so lightly. They take it as a joke. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, I do never joke in my life. I'm not a comedian, and I do not joke. So the information I'm going to give, I'm going to highlight the present situation whereby there is a conflict in Ukraine, there's a conflict in Palestine, as well as in different parts of Africa. There's some conflicts going on. And these conflicts involves the bloodshed of innocent women and children. So the information I'm sending to humanity, you can either listen to it, but it's directed towards African Americans, it's directed towards Jamaicans, it's directed again towards people of the Haiti, the people in Haiti Islands. It's directed at Africans on the continent of Africa, and Africans wherever you are on this planet. It's directed at the Chinese. The information I'm passing to humanity this day of the 14th of April 2024 is for all human beings. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist, and I'll never be. But I'm trying to show you, human beings, that you should know exactly what are what is your life, what is your duty on this planet, and how are you likely to survive if the situation goes out of hand. As you can see, that conflicts of bloodshed are taking place on this planet. Okay, I will introduce myself again by sending a holy divine salutation of Assalam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all living human beings on planet Earth. My people, one thing I'll point out before we move any step further is that you are all living Muslims on planet Earth. All men and women on this planet are Muslims, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of the location from which they are, the latitude or location of latitude or the latitude on which they find themselves in. You are all living Muslims living on planet Earth. With that, you were directed, you were commanded not to shed blood of any fellow human beings, like what has been going on either in Ukraine or in Palestine or in Africa. And you are not allowed as human beings to take other human beings as commodities of trade, whereby you take away the dignities of a fellow human being, and you subject that human being to slavery, which happened to our brothers who were stolen from Africa and taken to the islands of Jamaica and in the plantations of sugarcane and in the Americas. Nobody is allowed to take the dignities of any other fellow human being on this planet using sadistic, drogative sadistic beliefs or conjectured sadistic belief. My people of Jamaica, my people of the African Americans, my people of Africa, nobody is allowed to take away the dignities of an African man or a European man or a whatever, as it is going on in Palestine. Nobody is allowed to take away the dignities of the children of Palestine. The children of Palestine who are in refugee camps. Nobody is allowed to take away their dignities, regardless of their whatever belief. So, my people, as I have said, you are all living Muslims on this planet. The sun in the sky, the religion of the sun in the sky is Islam. The religion of planet Mother Earth is Islam. The religion of the nearest celestial body, the moon, is Islam. And the religion of the water that covers the oceans, or what we call oceans, the water that you fetch from a well, the water that falls from the sky as rain, the religion of that water is Islam. The air that you breathe on this planet as living human beings, the religion of the air you breathe is Islam. And everything that you have ever eaten as a portion of food, as a morsel of food, the religion of whatever that you've ever cooked and put in your stomach as food, the religion of that whatever is Islam. The reason why you sat in your mom's womb for 9 months, and on the 9th day, the last day when you came out of your mother's womb, I must tell you that you uttered these words, though men and women did not understand what you were saying to your mother, because every living human being who sits in the womb of a woman speaks to the mother who has carried that child. As soon as the child comes out of their mother's womb, they speak to their mother. Because while the child was in the womb, she did not know who her mother is. And the mother who was carrying that womb did not know who she is carrying. She doesn't know how the baby looks like. So, the most holy, glorified, almighty Allah, who created the mother who is carrying the womb, or who carried the child, and who created the child who is coming out of the womb, commands the child that as soon as you come out of your mother's womb, make this noise, testify this name to your mother. And that name is the most holy, beautiful name, Allah. The most holy, beautiful name in the universe. My people, every child that comes out of a woman's womb makes noises. To you in present time and today, you say that the child is crying. The child is not crying. She is commanded by Allah that as soon as you come out of your mother's womb, you have to identify yourself to your mother. Because your mother, doesn't know you. And you don't know her. And you have to introduce yourself. The only way you can introduce yourself to your mother is by testifying my most holy, beautiful name. That name is Allah. Allah, the most holy, glorified, almighty Allah, the creator, the cherisher, and the sustainer of whatever that exists. So Allah tells the child to make noises, because the child has never used the tongue in her mouth. She has to use a special signature in the throat of the baby. In every human being's throat, there is a signature of Allah, a holy, special signature of Allah, which Allah commands that as soon as the baby comes out of the woman's womb, that signature allows the child to speak to the mother, the woman who has carried the womb for 9 months. When the child says, Allah, 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 in which you in present time today you say, the child is crying. Indeed, it may sound like crying, but if you listen carefully to that sound that the child makes, she's testifying that Allah, 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 because that is one of the greatest special holy name, the most holy, special, holy name of Allah, of which I'll go a little bit in detail of what the name Allah is to you as human beings. The name of Allah is what was laid down to design the foundation base of every human brain in the skull of a human being. The way the name Allah is written in the Arabic format, theoretical format, shows exactly the 2 sections of the brain, as well as it shows the 5 subsections of the brain of a human being. If you read the brain of a human being from the sides, that is the ears. But the name Allah, as is written in the Arabic format, is a signature that proves that Allah created every living human being on this planet, and the religion of every living human being on this planet, the religion of those creations, the religion of human beings, men and women, is Islam. So, with that, as I've showed you that the name Allah is the most holy, beautiful name in the universe. With that, Allah used it, laid it down to construct the brain of a human being as the foundation base. If you view the brain of a human being from the forehead, it will show you two sections. And if you look at the name Allah, how it's written in Arabic, in the Arabic format, it shows two sections, a left section and a right section. And also, it shows, it looks like a continuous W. So that is that the whatever the two sections show represent the left section of the brain and the right section. If you view the brain from the forehead, if you are viewing the brain from the sides, it has 5 subsections. So for that, you are all living Muslims on this planet who are given also a percentage of mental development to be able to differentiate between wrong and right, to be able to identify your mother, to be able to identify that this is my father, this is my mother, this is my daughter, this is my uncle, this is a woman, this is a man. That percentage of mental development also allows you to say that you own a cow, you own a horse, you own a house. With that, you were commanded not to commit bloodshed or to shed blood of one another, and not to associate conjectured beliefs unto the most holy, glorified, Almighty Allah. You were commanded not to associate conjectured sadistic beliefs, which tells you to shed, because they say there's a belief which they say they shed the blood of a son of God. That very belief that says they did shed the blood of the Son of God, it's still a belief which made people commodities, taken from their whatever and taken as slaves. So that belief is a conjecture belief which has committed atrocities amounting to almost 500 million people in the last 500 years killed because of that belief of which says they killed the Son of God. With that, it has articles of psychological mutilation of others as well as physical mutilation of others. In both psychological mutilation of others and physical mutilation of others, that's where it happened that our people, the Africans, were stolen from our land, our continent, and taken as slaves, stripped away their dignity is stripped away, and were made slaves, commodities. A commodity which can be owned by this man and another man, and so on and so on. Many of our people were killed. And with that, the worst holocaust to happen to human beings on this planet has happened against the black man. The worst holocaust that happened to the human race, to human beings, happened to black men, were taken and removed, their dignities was removed from them. They became commodities. After becoming a commodity, anybody would do as they wish. They would beat you all day. They would beat you, cane you all day. They would starve you. And with that starvation, you have to work almost 24 hours a day in sugar plantations. And so many, many other things. We who survived, I survived. I survived that Holocaust. I survived one of the deadliest Holocausts that has ever happened to human beings. But today, it's really as if it has never stopped. Because yet in America, African Americans are made to follow a belief, a conjectural belief that made them slaves. It's a belief that stripped away their dignities and they became commodities. So, my call to both Africans in Africa and those in America and those in Brazil, those in Colombia, those in Canada, wherever you are as an African, a black man, your true religion is Islam. That is the religion of your ancestors. The religion of who He created, the religion of the sun. The religion of the sun in the sky. The religion of the water that you drink. The religion that allowed you to live for centuries and centuries and centuries when you are great men and women who are intelligent enough to have started the greatest civilization on this planet. Of which there's a landmark in Egypt, and then that landmark is symbolized by a letter A, the first letter of the alphabet. The first letter of the alphabet. That signature says it's a letter A. The Great Pyramid of Egypt is a signature, a symbol, a signature left by your ancestors, left by we, the ancestors, who opened the doors of great civilizations. With that, we left it as a landmark that no man will ever be able to build or to bear witness as we did as Africans by making a signature on the planet or on planet Earth, by glorifying Allah, the most holy, glorifying Almighty Allah, by saying, let us build, we left a signature in a symbol of a letter A, but a pyramid, a great pyramid. Many of the people say today one of the 7 wonders of the world. Indeed, it's a wonder. It bears witness that Allah, the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, there's nothing equal to Him. There is nothing equal to the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah. And indeed, we the ancestors, we the men who constructed, who built, or who started civilization for human beings, we never took people as slaves. We never made the people turn men into commodities, because for your information, before I go whatever, I will let you know that me, before the killing, the atrocities that happened to the so-called Son of God that they say they crucified, I did speak about it. I did speak about it more than 8,000 years ago when I used to live in Beijing. When I used to live in an area now which is known as Beijing, I did tell the people of that land that there will be a man, a prophet, who will come onto this planet. And that prophet will be murdered. That prophet will be murdered by men who are intoxicated with alcohol. Men who derive pleasure from the psychological and physical mutilation of others. That when I left that whatever message in what we call it the tenets of wisdom, which we reveal to the Chinese, or what the people whom we call the Chinese today, those records, they waited for more than 4,000 years before the arrival of Jesus on this planet. When he arrived, he was murdered. And yet, after murdering him, they turned around and said, it's a belief that you men and women today you follow. A belief which made some of our people in Africa commodities who were sold from one man to another in one of the most deadliest Holocaust that has ever happened to human beings, whereby men were stripped, the dignities of men were stripped away. Men kept in chains and whatever by a cult, a belief of sadism, a belief of present time that has manufactured weapons of mass destruction. They manufactured them without knowing that they were setting themselves a trap. Over the years, they embarked and they pay whoever sits behind whatever and constructs a ballistic missile or a nuclear warhead. They pay them very, very handsomely, very, very handsomely. But why? Do you really like to? Are you really sure you want us to shut down this planet? First of all, through your very own hands. Through your very own hands with what you've manufactured. So, over the years, I've been watching the situation going on planet Earth, trying to wake men up and say, men and women, you are all one living creation, one human being, you all come from one man, and that man is Prophet Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, the father of all living human beings. His religion was a Muslim, and everything that has ever existed on this planet, the religion of whatever that has ever existed on this planet, that religion is Islam. This planet itself, the religion of this planet is Islam. My people, today this message is to all Africans, African Americans, that you are all living Muslims on this planet. Under no circumstances should you deny yourself a chance and you say you are a Christian, because this is a belief which is which they used to take you as a slave. It's a belief, a conjectured belief, which stripped away your dignity, and you were made a commodity. You would spend many hours in plantations of sugarcane, beaten, and many men died. Many men died. Those on sea, while they were being shipped to the plantation, the sugar plantations. Many men died. Many men died. Those who survived, I've got a message for you, those who survived the Holocaust, the worst, most deadly Holocaust to ever happen to human beings. That do not follow the belief from which you were made slaves. Do not follow the belief from which you were made slaves. And that belief is a belief which says they murdered the Son of God. With it, they even utter blasphemy and say that your father Adam was sinned against his creator. But Prophet Adam never killed any of his children. So with that, every living human being on this planet is a Muslim. And whereby you should not engage in 365 days of the year manufacturing weapons. If you insist that you manufacture those weapons, indeed, I say to you, maybe you have never seen how the doors of extinction of human beings looks like. You've never seen what the doors of that counts the extinction of human beings from this planet. Maybe you don't know how they look like. Africans, you are all Muslims on this planet. Americans or Red Indians, you are all Muslims on this planet. Europeans, you are all living Muslims on this planet. Chinese, you are all living Muslims on this planet. Indians, you are all living Muslims on this planet. My people, that is all I can say to my fellow Africans. Today this message was for the black man. You were a people who had dignity, who respected life for centuries. With that, before we left this planet many years ago, we left a landmark in Egypt. Today is classified as one of the great wonders of the world, the 7 wonders of the world. Indeed, it's one of the wonders. With it, we left it as evidence that there's nothing equal to the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah. And with it, time and time again, we bring evidence from celestial bodies when the 3 stars stand in precision, great precision in between the pointing in the Great Pyramid and the other 2 pyramids in Cairo. With that, there is a proof and evidence to those men and women who have sense that indeed it's Islam that all men are living on this planet today. With that, do not as human beings engage in any atrocities. Do not engage in any bloodshed against fellow human beings. Do not. Europeans, this business of atrocities kind of has whatever around your neck. If you look at your European whatever flag, it has a circle of stars. In that, if you have sense and understand what that whatever, because whatever the belief of Christianity, I believe it began from Europe. When they went to America and they said, this is our way of life. Many Red Indians were killed, were destroyed. Those who survived, they became useless to themselves. In Africa, they were taken as slaves. Those who survived, they can no longer help themselves. Even me, I've been a subject of countless mutilations. I've been killed so many times, which I cannot put a number to. But with it, I say to you, human beings, every living human being on this planet is a Muslim. And with that, you are not supposed to shed blood of 3-year little children in a refugee camp, or a place designated for protection, which is called a refugee camp. And with that, you are not supposed to shed blood of anybody. Not anybody. Don't shed blood of anybody. And don't take other men as slaves. Do not. And don't make other men, fellow human beings as commodities. Don't. And do not preach sadism, a belief that promotes the bloodshed of others. Do not put that theology in the minds of men. Because whatever you do, you started the belief, you conjectured the belief of bloodshed, you did not know that you will catch up with it. Today, you have tons and tons of nuclear warheads, but you don't know what to do with them. And of recent, I think there was a thieving nuclear warhead somewhere in the desert saying, why am I here? I need to go out to do what you conjecture, what you made me for. My people, you have accumulated tons and tons of weapons of mass destruction on a planet where you have businesses, castles, palaces, bungalows, houses, children. The question is, are you safe with those nuclear warheads? Are you safe? Are you safe with assault rifles on the streets of America or in the jungle of Africa or anywhere on this planet? If the answer is no, then do dump the dirty theology and belief of bloodshed and bury it. If you don't, I will use that very belief that you started, the conjectured belief of bloodshed, and I'll take you to a situation where none of you as human beings can free themselves. I'll take you in a oblivion of the extinction of human beings. I know you love life. You love life so much. And indeed you should. Because life is a religion. Life is a religion. And that beautiful religion is Islam. Whereby we in Mecca, the whole place in Mecca, we are, if you were to switch on and watch or search for on YouTube, live whatever broadcast of Mecca, you will see men and women of all colors circulating, rotating, doing tawaf around the Kaaba, doing tawaf in peace and harmony, in the beauty of peace and harmony, in the beauty of peace and harmony. Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah. Africans, you are all Muslims on this planet. Chinese, you are all living Muslims on this planet. Americans, red Indian Americans, red whatever you are, whichever race, whichever human being you are a living creation, and that living creation is Muslim. Islam religion is Muslim. If you think otherwise, if you think that your only belief is of that of a bloodshed, maybe when I knock on your red and white blood cell in your body, maybe you will know that because me as red and white blood cell inside your body, my religion is Islam. If you say otherwise, you are, and you say you're a Christian, maybe you don't know me. Maybe you don't know me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.